NFL fans, the schedule is officially released. We are going to be going through all 16 AFC teams in the NFL on this edition of Crash Out NFL. All right, so we're going to play a little game today, okay? Me and Carlisle are going to go through all 16 AFC teams, right? But we're only going to have 2 minutes to go through each team, okay? I have a timer set and ready, okay? Through all 16 AFC teams, okay? We're going to start with the Ravens, okay? And so Carlisle's going to go first, and your time starts now.
All right, I predict the Ravens to be the best. What we're doing, we're predicting teams. Okay, that shouldn't come out of my time.
Yeah.
I guess it will. Anyway, so the Ravens, I've them predicted to be 12-5, a little bit worse than last season. I have the five losses. Okay, 2 of them come in the first 4 weeks. I have them having week 1 loss to the Chiefs, mainly because they're losing. They lost both their coordinators and some significant contributors in defense. So I'm getting to a slow start. Then they win 2 games. Raiders, Cowboys, lose to the Bills again. And then they go in a little winning stretch, 3-game win stretch, lose to the Browns at home. I think they split with the Browns. I think they split with most divisional. Beat the Broncos, lose to the Bengals, because this is around the time of the year the Bengals start to get hot, week 10. All right, Ravens go in a little stretch, beat Steelers, beat the Chargers, beat the Eagles, which is going to be a big win. They beat the Giants, beat the Steelers. They lose to the Texans week 17. That's going to be a big game for playoff seeding, in my opinion. And then they're going to beat the Browns. What's interesting about my predictions is I'm being 5-4 against playoff teams. 4 of their 5 losses I have being against playoff teams. And the other loss is a team who had a winning record. I have having a winning record. The who was it? Not Browns. Maybe it was the Browns. I guess okay. The computer gave them the winning record. They don't have a winning record. But yeah, I had them being 8-9. So is my time up?
No, you got 30 seconds left, or you can just stop right now.
Ooh, we can yap a little. So anyway, I had them being 8-0 against losing record teams, but I had them being 4 or 5 against winning record teams, which is still really good. 4-5. It's better than the Dolphins and Cowboys last year. And I had them being 3rd in the conference, not 1st seed. I had the Chiefs being 1st seed with a 12-5 record, which we'll talk more about later. And I had the Texans also being 12-5. And them beating the Ravens is actually what cost them the 3rd seed. Anyway, in the playoffs, I also went ahead into the playoffs, so you know. Playoffs, I had them beating the Steelers round 1, who are the 6th seed. And then, all right, then I had them losing to the Texans round 2. All right, that's my thing.
All right, there we go. That was exactly 2 minutes, actually. All right, I'm going to go ahead and go over the Ravens schedule, and my time is going to start right about now. Okay, week 1, take on the Chiefs. I have them getting the win there, okay? I mean, if you watched the Lions game last year, then you obviously know that a team that makes it pretty far into the playoffs is probably going to beat the Chiefs, okay? I don't think the Chiefs are very good early on.
So lost Chris Jones.
I think they're going to win.
And Travis Kelce.
And they didn't have Travis Kelce. But I still think that they're going to be handed
a
win there.
You're on clock.
Anyway, they're going to win week 2 against the Raiders. I got them winning week 3 against the Cowboys. I'm going to give them a week 4 loss against the Bills, okay? So right now they're 3-1. I'm going to give them a win against the Bengals week 5, a win against Washington, okay? I'm going to give them a win against the Buccaneers, okay? So right now I have them at 6-1. I'm going to give them a loss at the Browns, okay? I think that Deshaun Watson is going to give the Ravens their 2nd loss of the year, okay? Win against the Broncos. I'm going to give them a loss against the Bengals in their 3rd game. This is when Joe Burrow really turns up and just goes crazy.
Yeah.
Right now they're about 7-3 or 8-3, 7-3. I'm right. Win against the Steelers, win against the Chargers, loss against the Eagles. I do think the Eagles are going to be way better this year. So right now they are 10-3 or 10-4 right now. They have a bye week 14, which is a strange week to have a bye. Win against the Giants, win against the Steelers, loss against the Texans. I don't like that game. I think C.J. Stroud is going to be just a really good quarterback this year, as much as I hate to say it. And then I'm going to give them a win against the Browns. So in all, they're going to have 5 losses on the year. So I have them also going 12-5. Okay. Playoffs, I have them going to the AFC Championship and eventually losing in the AFC Championship like they did last year. Okay. Hardest game I'm going to have to say is going to be that Week 13 game against the Eagles. Okay. The Eagles, I think, are going to be a really good team, but I think the Eagles are going to be the team that takes them out of the 1 seed and just barely losing in the AFC Championship. And my time is officially up.
All right. So I'm going to start now with Cincinnati Bengals.
All right.
My favorite NFL
Yeah,
team.
we're going to move on to the Cincinnati Bengals.
Wait, should I put the helmet on for this one? Think I can do that?
Sure, go ahead.
Let's try.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, so there's golf balls in this. Hold on. All right, let's go. All right, yeah, this is as far as it's
All
going
right,
to
go
go on.
ahead.
All right, let's go.
All right, ready?
Okay.
Your time starts right about now.
All right, anyway, so I have the Bengals getting to a slow start like always. So we're going to lose week 1 to the Patriots with, I'm assuming, I think Jacoby Brissett will start with the Patriots. We'll talk more about that later. Week 2, Chiefs, again, another loss. We'll start 0-2. Going to hit our stride against another rookie quarterback, Commanders, in week 3. I'm taking this off because it's hurting my head a lot. Week 4, we beat the Panthers, get 2-2. We get a loss to week 5 Baltimore because we 2-3. This happened like 2 years in a row, actually. I think we lost week 5 to Baltimore. I don't know for sure. Get a win against the Giants. We just go to 4-2. Lose against the Browns, who are not very good against, 4-3. Eagles 4-4. Then we just turn it on. We're 10-7, by the way. That's my prediction, 10-7. But we're still 5th seed in the AFC. Beat the Raiders, beat the Ravens, beat the Chargers, beat the Steelers. Going into a bye. So now we're 8-4, and then I have us collapsing 8-4. That's not right. We're not 8-4. Whatever. We're like 7-4. Not even like 6-4. 6-4. That's what I meant. All right. After the bye, we beat the Steelers again. We're 7-4. We lose to the Cowboys, who have a mini bye, so we're 7-5. Beat Titans, Browns, Broncos to give us 10-6, and then we bench because we've clinched the 5th seed, and then we bench everybody. Steelers beat us. We're 10-7. We have the 5th seed. All right. Was that good?
You still got 35 seconds if you want to yap a
Man,
little bit.
I'm killing it. All right. So anyway, the reason we're higher than the Steelers are the same record as us, who also is 10-7, in my opinion. That's my prediction. The reason we're higher than the Steelers is because of our percent versus conference. We're going to be very good against the conference, in my opinion, 7-5, which you weren't last year. So it's a little bit of a bold take. We're not going to be great against winning teams like we normally are. We're going to be 2-5 against winning teams. So a lot of our losses, so 5 or 7 losses are going to come from winning teams. Other 2 from losing teams. We're going to be 8-2 against losing teams. But I think a more important stat is playoff teams, which we're 2-5 against. So that made sense in my head. Home 5-3, away 5-4. I mean, yeah, we're going to be 5th seed the conference. I think playoff predictions. Hold on. Playoff predictions. I forgot about this guy. We beat the 4th seeded Dolphins first round. We beat the 1st seeded Chiefs second round. Oh boy. We beat the Texans in the AFC Championship. Then we beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl, and we win the Super Bowl. No glazing. All right, your turn.
All right.
Because no one cares.
And my time is going to officially start now. All right. First of all, let me get this off. They're going to go 3-0 in the preseason. They're going to beat the Bucks, the Bears, and the Colts. No chance. First off, I have them getting a win over the Patriots in Week 1. I think Drake May is not that guy. Kansas City Chiefs are going to get a win over them. Chiefs go to 0-2 in the year, which is kind of crazy. They're going to get a win over Washington. I don't like Jaden Daniels at all. They're going to get a win over the Panthers. They're going to lose to the Ravens. So they're going to be 4-1 on the year after the Ravens game. They're going to beat the Giants. They're going to go to 6-1. They're going to lose to the Browns. I really think the Browns are going to be very, very good this year, which is going to take them to 6-2. They're going to lose to the Eagles, which makes them 6-3. They're going to beat the Raiders. They're going to be 7-3, okay? They're going to lose to the Ravens. Second game loss to the Ravens. So they're going to be 7-4. They're going to beat the Chargers 8-4. They're going to beat the Steelers 9-4. They're going to lose to the Cowboys, which is kind of crazy. Which is going to take them to 8-5. They're going to lose to the Titans. I'm just kidding. No, they're going to beat the Titans. Unfortunately, they're going to beat the Titans, which is going to make them 9-5. They're going to beat the Browns second time. They're going to go 10-5. They're going to beat the Broncos, and they're going to lose to the Steelers, which after everything is going to take them to 12-5. Okay, hardest game I'm going to give them that Cowboys game. Okay, I do think the Cowboys are going to be very good towards the end of the year, like they always are, but I do think they're going to choke in the playoffs. Dak Prescott seems to be really good towards the end of the year, just not in the playoffs. This is also the game that's probably going to get them to probably the 5 seed. I do have them behind the Ravens making the playoffs. I do think that they're going to be eliminated in the first round. Not the first round. I do think they're going to be eliminated in the divisional. I do think Dak Prescott is going to be very good towards the end of the year. I do like this Cowboys team towards the end of the year, but I do think that they're just going to choke in the playoffs. Okay. Hardest stretch I'm going to have to say is from the Eagles game to the Cowboys game. They have to face the Eagles, the Ravens, the Steelers, and the Cowboys, which I do think is a hard stretch. So that is my analysis of the Bengals. Yeah. All right. Anyway, let's move on to the Cleveland Browns.
Browns?
So your time is going to start right now.
All right, so I have the Browns being a little bit worse than they were last year, 8-9, missing the playoffs. And the reason for that, I'm actually going to bring up a quote from a very good NFL quarterback, Doug Williams, the first black quarterback ever to win the Super Bowl. This is my favorite book, Quarterback. You could buy it at Barnes & Noble's. I recently did. It's a great book. All right, so we're going to read the quote, okay? This is Doug Williams' quote. 3 kinds of quarterbacks in this league. First, there are the guys who you hope don't lose the game for you. There are a lot of those. Then there are guys who can win games for you, but not all the time. I call them 8-8 quarterbacks. And then there's the smallest group, the guys who will win games for you that maybe you shouldn't. Brady, Rodgers, Drew Brees, Andrew Luck. So yeah, that's quote's outdated. It was made like 2015. Point is, elite quarterbacks win games that you shouldn't have. Average quarterbacks get you average results. Bad quarterbacks get you bad results. Deshaun Watson is not an elite quarterback, okay? He's an average quarterback, so you're not going to have a great season. The reason the Browns were so good last year is because of their defense, but I think it was more of a fluke than a legitimate defense. That's why I'm decreasing to 8-9. That's probably just a lot of my time on my little quote over there. So when I week 1 beat Cowboys, week 2 lost to Jags. So actually, I'm starting out 4-1. All right, drop Washington, Eagles, win 2, Bengals, Ravens, lose to the Chargers, going to the bye. They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-5, and then they're 3-4 for the rest of the way. All right, and so I have us being 8-9. Yeah, so I don't have us being great. I'm not a believer in Deshaun Watson. That's why I don't have him being great. I have him being 8-9. Yeah. Also, I think Nick Chubb will be.
All right.
I think the O-line got noticeably worse in the offseason, and Nick Chubb won't be the same coming off an injury. Neither with Deshaun Watson, which is those to their core too. Which means, yeah, I just don't have him being great. All right, is that my time?
Yeah, that's right about the time.
Over?
All right,
go.
I'm gonna go ahead and no, you didn't go over. You were actually like 5 seconds under, but all right, I'm gonna go ahead and start right about now. Okay, week 1, Cowboys got them. Unfortunately, getting a loss to the Cowboys, also losing to the Jaguars, which makes them 0-2 in the year. I do have them beating the Giants, Raiders, and Commanders though, which puts them to 3-2. And then I have them losing to the Eagles, which makes them an even 3-3. I have them beating the Bengals, which makes them 4-3. I actually have them losing to the Bengals, which makes them 3-4. Then I have them losing to the Ravens, which makes them 3-5. Have them beating the Chargers, beating the Saints, losing to the Steelers, which makes them what? That is 5-6. I have them beating the Broncos, which makes them 6-6. Beating or losing to the Steelers, or beating the Steelers, which makes them 7-6. Losing to the Chiefs, because I know Patrick Mahomes down the stretch is going to be really good. 7-7. I have them beating the Bengals the second time around, which makes them 8-7. Losing the Dolphins and losing the Ravens final 2 games, which I also have them at 8-9. Missing the playoffs just barely. I do think Deshaun Watson is going to be very, very solid this year. I just don't think that after losing some notable factors like Bill Callahan,
in the words of Doug Williams,
coach, I do think that they're
an 8-8 quarterback. In the words of the immortal
average quarterbacks don't show the production. So anyway, I do think that their defense is going to step up a little bit. I do think that their defense is going to step up. I just don't think that their offense is going to have very good production like they did last year with Joe Flacco. I do think Deshaun Watson is going to try his best. He's going to be decent, but I just don't think that he's going to get there. That is my take.
Yeah,
alrighty. Let's move on to Massage Watson is not going to go very far, I don't think.
Massage Watson.
All right, final team, Pittsburgh Steelers. Your time will start now.
All right, actually, so I did my seasons, and I had the Steelers a little bit better than even I expected. All right, so I've been 10-7, sliding to the 6th seed. And actually, I believe in Russ. And here's why. Broncos were just a bad team last year. I mean, they're worse than people give them credit for, okay? I mean, Russ, they were, really, 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 really bad the year before. But Nathaniel Hackett was a horrible head coach. And when Aaron Rodgers is not in his offense, he's at a bottom 3 offense the last 3 seasons without Aaron Rodgers. So he's just not a good offensive coach. The offensive line was horrible. Jerry Jeudy's overrated. Cortland Sutton was okay, but injured that year. Javonte Williams is overrated. It just was not a good situation for Russ to be in at all. It was a horrible system for him. Better system this year. He was noticeably a lot better. Okay? Now, anyway, so at Broncos, I think is actually a perfect team for him. They have a good offensive line, have a good established run game. The Seahawks had during his prime. And, I mean, their receiver core isn't great, but George Pickens, I think Mike Tomlin's a great coach for him. He's my best coach in the NFL, me personally. So, yeah, I think he can help evolution evolutionized George Pickens. They did trade away Deontay Johnson, but I think Roman Wilson. I really like Roman Wilson. I wanted the Bengals to get him, but we took some like random Alabama receiver instead. He's not even that bad, Jermaine like Burton. But I would have preferred Roman Wilson because he's slot. I think he can slide in and take Deontay Johnson's role very well. I think he can be a day one 800-yard receiver. So I have a lot of. Plus, their defense is phenomenal, like always. So I think the Steelers can be 10-7. And people say their schedule's hard, but like because of their opponents' winning percentage last year, but they don't have the toughest schedule in the world. Also, I think they were given to be an 9-8 team, and I had them being 9-8, but I looked over the schedule one more time, a free video, and I gave them the win against the Bengals because the Bengals were most likely sitting everybody. So yeah, I have them being 10-7, and being a 6 seed, playoff production. They get first rounded by the Ravens because they can't. Russell Wilson won't win the playoff game. But I mean, not saying he can't. I'm saying like his team's just not good enough. So yeah, over to you. Back to you.
All right. That was actually perfect 2 minutes. All right.
Again?
So,
2 for 2.
Yeah.
This has got to be.
I know, you're kind of just going crazy. All right. Steelers 2024 regular season. Yeah, like on the dot.
That is bananas.
Like,
twice.
You're tough.
Yeah, this is this
All
an
right.
edit? All right, go.
I think we're going to have to make this into a short. All right. Anyway, my time's going to start right now. All right, week 1 against ATL. I do have them getting the win there. I don't like Kirk Chains at all. I don't think that he's a solid quarterback. I feel like he's not a good player. I mean, he has 1 playoff win all time, okay? Week 2 against Denver, I have them getting the win. Week 3, I have them losing to the Chargers, which sounds crazy, but I do have them losing, making them 2-1. Losing to the Colts and losing to the Cowboys makes them 3-2. Beating the Raiders 3-3. Losing to the Jets 3-4. Beating the Giants 4-4, having an even 4-4. Losing to the Commanders, Jaden Daniels gets that win. Makes them 4-5. Losing the Ravens 4-6. Losing to Cleveland beating Cleveland makes them 5-5, right? Yeah, 5-5. Or no, 5-6. My apologies. Beating or losing the Bengals makes them 5-7. Beating Cleveland makes them 5-8 or 6-7. Losing to Philadelphia 6-8, losing to the Ravens 6-9, losing to the Chiefs 6-10, and beating the Bengals 7-10. That is my prediction. Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season in his career. I think that they're going to get their first loss. They have a solid defense in Minka Fitzpatrick, T.J. Watt, and Cam Hayward. I just don't think that they play a very good offense, right? Oh yeah, Alex Highsmith is very solid.
Yeah, he's actually
very underrated.
He's a good player. Yeah,
he was a top sacker.
He's good.
Anyway,
yeah.
I don't think that Justin Fields returning kicks is going to do anything for them. Russell Wilson, I feel like, yeah. I do think that Russell Wilson can be very good when he is needed to be, but other times he just sells. Nathaniel Hackett, don't like him as a good offensive coach. They did get robbed by Matt Canada, but you got to learn from old lessons. But Pat Freiermuth, George Pickens, Najee Harris, those are all middle of the pack guys. Russell Wilson, middle of the pack guys. They just have a very middle of the pack offense. And my time is up, so we can move on to the next division. What division do you want to go to?
One more thing about the Steelers, real quick. I forgot they got the Falcons head coach. Alex, I don't remember his name. Arthur Smith. That's what it was. Arthur Smith. It's a perfect system, literally a perfect system for Russell Wilson. So yeah, that's another reason I'm being 10-7. I forgot to say that. All right, let's do the AFC South.
AFC South. All right, what do you want to start? Let's do. You want to do Colts? Texans? All right, cool. Texans.
All right, well, I mean, where's
Colts? All right,
oh my God.
Let's do Colts. Nope, we're doing Colts.
Okay,
all right, go ahead. Start off with the Colts.
Okay, anyway, I have the Colts being 8-9. That was a little bit of a step down last year. But I think last year was more fluky than anything. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I don't think this team has done enough for me to think they're going to get better. And I think their division got better this offseason, so I think they're going to get worse. So I'm going to 8-9. It's still not bad. I think 8-9. I think next year will be their breakout year where they make the playoffs. But this, I don't think they're there yet. I think Anthony Richardson, who's very raw coming out of college, I think he has the potential to be great. But yeah, I just think it's gonna take a second to get there. So I don't have them being great this year. But I think they're building a good team. Michael Pittman, I mean, they have a really young wide receiver pool who actually I really, really like what they're doing in the wide receiver room. Michael Pittman, I like Alec Pierce. He literally went to Cincinnati, my favorite college. Yeah, so I liked him a lot. I think he showed a lot of flashes in his first year. I think he'll be a solid number 2, number 3 wide receiver. Josh Downs showed flashes in the rookie year. Great value pick with A.D. Mitchell, 51 overall. Offensive line, I would like to see some more. Quentin Nelson, obviously great, on his way to be a Hall of Famer. They got some other solid starters, Brandon Smith, Ryan Kelly. I'd like to see them invest a little more materials in the offensive line. And then I'm on defense. I would prefer to see them draft a corner round 1, Terrion Arnold, Quentin Mitchell, Nate Wiggins, Cooper DeJean. I would have other than Latula too, but I still like Latula too. I don't think he's a day 1 contributor, and I think he's going to develop, but I think they have a decent young edge rusher duo in Kwity Paye, Latula too, depending on what they do with Kwity Paye's contract. Defensive tackle, DeForest Buckner's Pro Bowl caliber. They probably need some more linebackers with the loss of Bobby Okereke to the Giants 2 years ago. Yeah, whatever. I said what I said. Yeah. All right, and but Zaire Franklin is a consistent top 5 tackler. Yeah, I would like. They probably need some more in the front 7 because DeForest Buckner's getting any younger. They probably need some more in the front 7. They probably need to fuel. I think they're good on offense. I think they need to fuel youth into the defense to take off the rest of the defense. And I think if they do that, I think they'll be fine in the year. I think they'll be 10-7, 11-6 in the year. All right, did I exceed time?
No, you have 10 seconds left.
We're finished.
Anyway,
back to
let me add on to Latula too. The more film I see of this guy, the more I begin to regret everything I said about him, of him going too early. This guy is the real deal. Like, if you've seen that one clip of him spinning around his coach so fast that he fell, my goodness. Anyway, off topic. Let me get started. 2024 Indianapolis Colts. First game against the Texans. Rough game. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna hand them the loss. I'm gonna hand them the loss against the Bears. Or not the Bears, the Packers. Then I'm going to give them the win against the Bears, which makes them 1-2. I'm going to give them the win against the win against the Steelers, which makes them 2-2. Gonna give them the win against the Jaguars, which makes them 3-2. Gonna give them the win against the Titans, unfortunately makes them 4-2. Gonna give them the loss against the Dolphins, even though I don't think the Dolphins are gonna be very good this year. 4-3, gonna give them the loss. Gonna give them the loss against the Texans, which makes them 3-5. Going to give them the win against the Vikings, 4-5. Gonna give them the loss or the win against the Bills, which makes them 5-5. Loss against the Jets, 5-6. Loss against the Lions, 5-7. Give them the win against the Patriots, which makes them 6-7. Gonna give them the win against the bye week, which makes them 5-7. Gonna give them the loss against the win against the win against the Broncos, which makes them 6-7. Gonna give them the win against the Titans, makes them 7-7. And then the last 2 games, I'm gonna give them. Anyway, they're going to be 9-8. They're going to be 3rd in the AFC South. I think they're going to just miss the playoffs, and that's my take on the Colts. Time is up. You cannot be 9-7. Moral of the story.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what.
Let's move on to the Texans because you want to so bad.
I love the Texans. I mean, I love CJ.
I love the Texans.
Ohio State. My second favorite.
I love CJ Stroud.
My king. Love it. All right, you.
Okay, go ahead.
All right.
3, 2, 1. Go ahead. Back to you. Sean.
Okay. All right. And actually, I have the Texans being the 2nd seed in the AFC. No, AFC. Mainly because the division. Actually, this is like the the hardest division to predict in like the whole NFL. It's just. Like all 4 teams.
It's so good. Like every team is so even, but there's just one team that's way better than the others,
which is the Texans, obviously. Anyway, so here's what I'm thinking about it. 12-5. Some people are like, the Texans are not a 12-5 team. They are like 2nd overall 2 years ago. Think about it this way, okay? Texans were 10-7 2 years ago. Not 2 years ago, last year, okay? This offseason, do you think they got 2 wins better by adding Stephon Diggs, by adding Daniel Hunter, by adding Joe Mixon, by adding other players? They got some other deaf players.
I think that's just a bunch of crybabies.
Yes, I know, and I think they got 2 wins better. Plus, they play other. Actually, they might be the 2nd best. Now that I'm looking at it, they play in an easier division than the AFC. Okay, and now that I'm looking at it, the AFC East and West are not that good, other than the Bills, Chiefs. All right. Anyway, but they play in an easier division. And I think they can get those wins. And I haven't been 2nd seed. I've been making it to the AFC Championship, losing to the Bengals, who I just think are a lot better than every other team in the NFL right now. So that was a joke. Anyway, yeah, I'm making 12-5. Also, they have a favorable schedule. I have them just making a good team overall, and I think I really like what they're doing. I really like the Stephon Diggs contract because I can see it failing, but they measure it to the contract where it's a low risk. It's low risk. Joe Mixon, stupid, but I mean it's okay. You make some mistakes. Daniel Hunter, great. All right, so yeah, I mean all three have issues. Other than Daniel Hunter, I love him. Other two have issues, but I think they're built for success next year. I think CJ Stroud can take that next step. So yeah, I think they're 12-5. Back to you.
Hey, you had 30 seconds left, but I'll take that 30 seconds.
Whatever. I don't have anything to
Anyway,
say about the Texans. I think
let's go through the Texans schedule. First of all, I have them going 2-1 in the preseason. No one cares. I do have them losing to the Colts and not losing the Colts. I have them beating the Colts and beating the Bears back to back and beating the Vikings. 3-0, all right? Have them losing to the freaking Jaguars, okay, in week 4. 3-1. Have them losing or beating the Bills 4-1. Have them beating the Patriots 5-1. Have them losing the Packers 5-2. Are you kidding me? Have them losing to the Colts, which makes them 5-3. Have them losing to the Jets 5-4. Goodness, 5-4. Then they go on a crazy stretch. Beat the Lions, lose to the Cowboys, beat the Titans. Okay, that's when are they? They were 5-4, so that makes them 7-5. 7-5. I have them beating the Jaguars 8-5, beating the Dolphins 9-5, beating the Chiefs 10-5, losing the Ravens 10-6, and losing to the Titans 10-7. I'll get more on that later. But 10-7, I have them 1 seed in the AFC. It's going to be a very close AFC South. I don't think that the Stephon Diggs and the Danielle Hunter and the Joe Mixon trade are going to matter because they're basically replacing what they already had. I mean, they added Stephon Diggs, which is crazy, but I don't like Stephon Diggs. He's a big crybaby. Danielle Hunter, they literally just replaced Grenard. Like Grenard was
he's much better.
The same level.
Much better than Grenard. It's
Yeah,
not even close.
you think he's much better? I think Grenard is just.
Listen,
I don't know.
Right,
I like Grenard better.
Let me tell you the difference between Grenard. Okay, I could see Grenard being a horrible contract because he's had one good year. He was okay the first 2 seasons. He had one good year. He may never hit that again. Danielle has been a consistently top 5, top 10 Pro Bowl edge rusher for like the past 6 years. It's not even close. They got immaculately better on the edge. Daniel Hunter was he had like 16 sacks. It was not even close. Daniel Hunter's. It's a massive upgrade on the edge.
All right, gulp. I guess you just love Danielle Hunter, don't you?
I do.
Anyway. I have them going 10-7 and being first in the AFC South, making the 4 seed or the 3 seed.
I thought you said they're gonna be 10-7 first in the AFC, and I was like, you're off your courses.
What? No, they're definitely not.
I don't understand what you said either.
All right, let's move on to the Jacksonville Jaguars, shall we?
Ooh, all right. I'm gonna go first again because I really like going first. So I have the Jaguars being 8-9, just like my good friends, the Indianapolis Colts. That's because I think they got worse this offseason. They were 9-8 last year. I just think they got worse this offseason. And yeah, they have an easier schedule than they did. But I mean, I now believe after watching last season that I think their playoff win was a fluke, and I think that happens a lot. Just like the Giants, like most playoff wins are flukes. I mean, you can normally tell. I thought the Jaguars were different. I thought they were built for sustained success. But you can normally tell when you get a playoff win if this is like a sign of the future or if it's just like, oh, we got lucky there. Like with the Giants, I think it was fairly obvious they got lucky there, right? Browns, they didn't get a playoff win, but they did. I thought, well, we got lucky there. All right, I thought they were built for sustained success. Turns out they weren't by last season. I mean, they collapsed bad. I mean, they were 8-3 at one point. So just from go to 8-3 to 9-8, it was bad. It's almost as bad as the Eagles from 9-1 to 11-6, or 10-1 to 11-6. All right. So I love how we're doing like completely different. Like I'm talking about the team, you're talking about like the schedule. Like we're doing completely different ways.
I mean, it kind of meshes up, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Anyway, so I'm barely missing the playoffs. I have the 7 seed being 9-8. I'll save that who it is for later. But I have them missing the playoffs at 8-9. Yeah. I think Trevor Lawrence is literally one of the most overrated players in the entire NFL because he was one of the greatest prospects I've ever seen. The greatest quarterback prospect I've seen in my lifetime, probably top 5. He's up there with John Elway, Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck. He's up there with those guys in NFL prospect standards, right? But if you watch games, there's he's like a tier 3, tier 4 NFL quarterback. So in the words of there's also more stuff in the book. There's the elite quarterbacks, And then there's the good quarterbacks. Like in this era, just from now my book that I'm reading, the elite ones were Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, those guys. Okay, the good ones, they get like Carson Wentz. This is when Carson Wentz, Jared Goff were like really good. Carson Wentz, Jared Goff, Dak Prescott, I think Derek Carr was in there. Those guys. All right, that's where he falls. That's where he falls right now. That's where he falls. He's not a Lamar, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. He's not that kind. He's not. He's like tier 3 because I think Brock Purdy, Jalen Hurts, to Justin Herbert. Those guys are better than him. He's like over here with like good enough to be a consistent starter, but I don't think good enough to make AFC championships or get MVP votes. He can prove me wrong this season, of course, but I think I don't like Brian Thomas that much because he was just in such a loaded off. I don't like it, even though he's from LSU. I don't like him. They lost Calvin Ridley. Christian Kirk, I think, got noticeably worse last season. Who did they get? They got Devin Duvernay, didn't they? No. Who did they get? Wide receiver free agency.
Gabe Davis.
Did they get Gabe Davis? Yeah, Gabe Davis is great. Yeah, that's who I was. Good running game. I like Travis Etienne. Not a great offensive line. I would have liked it to see them get an offensive tackle round 1. Defense is middle of the pack, so I think they're a middle of the pack team, which is why I'm being 8-9. Just luck of the draw. I think they're up there with the Steelers. I think it'd be easily flipped the Steelers 16, 10-7. All right, back to you. Did I get 2 minutes?
No, that was a little bit over, but
yeah, I felt it. I was like, this one's good.
Yeah,
I felt
it.
The Jaguars took me over.
Yeah. All right, Jacksonville Jaguars 2024 schedule. Week 1 against the Dolphins, loss, or loss, win, loss. 2 losses, 1 win. Have them beating the Texans makes them 2-2. Losing to the Colts makes them 2-3. Losing to the Bears 2-4. Have them beating the Patriots 3-4. Losing to the Packers and Eagles, which makes them 3-6. Beating the Vikings 4-6. Losing to the Lions, which makes them 4-7. Losing to the bye week.
Losing to
the Texans, which makes them 4-7. Losing to the Titans, which makes them 4-8.
Holy moly.
Losing to the Jets, which makes them 4-9. Beating the Raiders, Titans, and Colts in the final stretch, which makes them 7-9. Or
oh my goodness,
8-9. Yeah. No,
yeah.
7-10.
7-10, yeah. Man,
no,
the
7-10.
I miss it. Like, it just tells you the record. Like, it's not.
I know. All right. Anyway, 7-10. So have them last in the AFC South. I just don't think that Jacksonville's going to be very good this year. I feel like they're due for a fall off eventually. I don't like Gabe. I mean, their entire wide receiver core is just a bunch of wide receiver twos, right? Key matchup, the game that's really going to determine if they make it to the playoffs is that Week 8 Packers game. If they can beat the Packers, then they'll be 8-9. Or if they can beat the Packers, I think they'll go on a run and maybe win a couple of extra games. Easiest game, I'm going to have to give it to that Week 7 Patriots game. So Patriots, I don't like the Patriots at all. I think the Patriots are going to not be good this year. I don't like Drake May. I feel like he's a project quarterback. But anyway, that's my analysis on the 2024 Jacksonville Jaguars schedule. Anyway, let's go into my favorite team, the 17-0 Tennessee Titans.
What do you got on them? Like 10-7 winning game. Like you're gonna have them like just like so randomly good.
No.
All right. Anyway, I
have them at a decent schedule.
Yeah, I've been 7-10, dead last in the AFC.
Okay.
South. I think this is the hardest team in the entire AFC to predict, other than maybe the Jags and the Colts we just did, because like I can see them because they have a rookie head coach. They basically have a rookie quarterback because Will Levis. I mean, like this is his like are you good year? Okay, they added a lot of new pieces, but I don't know if Will Levis is good. I don't know if the head coach is good. This team, I think their ceiling is 10-7, but their floor is 5-12. They can like Jaguars' ceiling is probably. The Jaguars' ceiling is 11-6, floor is 8-9. I can't see them being 7-10. I have them hitting their floor, obviously. See this team, they had a lot of additions this offseason. Tony Pollard, Calvin Ridley, Lloyd Cushenberry. They got Awuzie, what's his name? Jerry Sneed. Thing is, like, historically, there's a few cases where this didn't happen, like the Bucks, the Rams, the Eagles. Well, not the Bucks and Rams, really. They didn't add too much. But when you add, like, 6 high-profile free agents, it takes a second for them to gel. And you may be good year 2. Like, this happened in baseball, actually, with the Rangers winning the World Series. The first season, they got Corey Seager, Marcus Semien. They were horrible. Took a second from the gel. They gelled. They won the Super Bowl. Okay, it's gonna take a second for the Titans to gel. It's gonna take a second from the gel. Okay, that's why I'm making 7-10. They got a ton of high-profile free agents. A ton. Tony Pollard, Lloyd Cushenberry, L'Jarius Sneed. They got in trade, but basically free agent. They just cost him a 3rd-round pick. Did they give him a contract extension, by the way? Sneed?
No, they just
No,
signed
they
them
didn't.
to $92 million.
All right,
No.
that's what you call a contract extension because they franchise tagged them. Regardless. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's why I'm making 7-10. Also, I think it's going to take a second for Will Levis to develop and for the new coaching staff to get settled. So I think 7-10 this year. I think things are looking up for the franchise, depending on Will Levis's development and if Bill Callahan's a competent head coach. Back to you. Was that 2 minutes?
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Again,
anyway,
like
first of all,
2.0,
we're gonna go ahead and like 1 minute and 58 seconds, but like that's
okay, whatever. It's not
that's all.
exactly okay.
Anyway, we're gonna start off. I have them going 0-3 in the preseason, unfortunately, but teams that go 0-3 in the preseason turn out to be very good. Win against the Bears week 1. I don't. Win against the Bears week 1. I don't like Caleb Williams in his first game. I don't think that he's going to be very good. Loss against the Jets, Packers. So that makes them 1-2. I do have them getting the win in week 4 against the Dolphins. I think that the Titans are really good in crunch time and primetime games. Beat the Colts, which makes them 4-2. Loss against the Lions and the Bills, which makes them 4-4. Beat the Patriots and Chargers, makes them 6-4. Lose to the Texans, Vikings, which makes them 6-6. Beats the Commanders, loses to the Jaguars, loses to the Jaguars, which makes what is that? What week is that? What is that? Like week some? I don't know, whatever. But they're 6-8, 6-8, 6-8. Yeah, 6-8, which makes them 6-8. Lost to the Bengals and the Colts, which makes them 6-10, and then 6-9. And then beat the Jaguars, and then lose to the Texans, which also makes them 7-10. So like you said, I think that they're going to get last in the AFC South. Will Levis, I think he's going to have a way better year than last year. I just don't think that just this entire team altogether is going to be good. It's going to take them, like you said, it's going to take them a while to get used to their new head coach and all the new coaching staff. And also just new teammates. Like we lost a whole lot of pieces. And we gained a whole lot of pieces too. So I really think that team chemistry needs to, just settle in a little bit before they can really start to go crazy. I do think a lot of sports analysts do not like the Titans at all. I don't get the hate. However, they are going to get one. Well, yeah, but they're not good. But every sports analyst thinks that they're going to get the 2nd pick in the draft this year, which I don't understand.
Actually.
Yes, they think that they're going to get the 2nd pick in the draft and draft Carson Beck. And so, anyway, I don't get the hate. I do think they're going to get one more win than last year. Do think that they're going to miss the playoffs, but I do think if we can make a lot of free agency moves next year, that we are going to be way better.
Free agency is not the answer.
Alrighty.
It's the draft. East?
End is the AFC South. All right, what do you want to move on to next? AFC West?
East is going to be.
Go ahead.
I'm going to have a lot of fun with the East. We're going to start with Bills.
All right.
We'll start with the Jets.
Bills, go ahead.
No, Jets.
Start with the Jets? All right, cool.
I'm going to do the Jets. All right, we're going to do the Jets, okay? See, this is what they call
all right, cool.
A bold prediction. Hold on, give me 1 second. This is what they call a bold prediction. I have the Jets going 7-10. Not even being better than last year, 7-10. I hate what the Jets are doing, actually. Hate. I don't know what the Jets are doing. They're building for Super Bowl. They're not contenders, okay? Aaron Rodgers, listen. Okay, listen, it was different if they had, like, Tom Brady or, like, Peyton Manning, okay? Guys, like, who were proven, like, playoff winners. And Aaron Rodgers' prime with the Packers, which was a much better team than the Jets, by the way, won one Super Bowl. So he's not – he also was notorious for losing in the playoffs a lot. He's not a proven playoff winner, right? And then pair it with the fact that you went and got a ton of free agents, okay? Tyron Smith played – the last time he played a full season was 7 years ago. You got Mike Williams, who, like, literally has played, like, 6 games in the last 2 years, okay? So this guy's, like – and you also have a 40-year-old quarterback who just is coming off a major injury. And by the way, 2 years ago with the Packers, he looked bad when they were 7-10. Before he was traded with the Packers, he looked bad. Okay, and like it looks a lot worse when Jordan Love comes in and gets a playoff win with basically the same offense. Maybe even a little worse. The offensive line got worse. So maybe the wide receiver core is more developed. So I'm giving it around the exact same offense. When he comes in, so Aaron Rodgers is nowhere near as good as he was in his MVP 2021 season. Okay, he's out of his prime. Okay. Anyway, and even with that, let's say every single one of those three players is healthy the whole year, which is I'd give maybe 1 out of the 3 is going to be healthy the full year. Okay, let's say all 3 are, right? Even if that's the case, they're still not a Super Bowl roster. Okay, their peak is 1 playoff game. All right, it's just I don't see it. Because they're doing this. They're going to be a mediocre for the next 3-4 years. They're at best. They could be horrible. This is literally, other than maybe the Browns, the worst organization of football. I don't know what they're doing. They're doing the same thing as the Browns right now. They're acting like they're a contender when they're clearly not. They're clearly not the Chiefs, the Bills, the Bengals, the Ravens. They're not contenders. Stop pretending you are. Back to you. That's why I'm moving 7-10, because I don't think Aaron Rodgers.
That was literally exactly on the dot 2 minutes, like 2:00:00.
Oh my goodness! Actually, I think this deserves a dab.
All right. So
I want that.
Can I ask a question?
Episode.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Of course. That's what I'm here for, Wesley.
Do you hate the Jets?
Yeah, I don't like the Jets at all. They're one of the worst run organizations in football, other than the Browns. Maybe the Lions like 4 years ago. Yeah, there was just.
How many Jets fans? How many Jets fans are we getting mad at this? I think you're going to get an angry call from Quinn Phil Brown.
I was about to say, I think Quinn Phil Brown's not going to be too happy about that.
All right, anyway, my time's going to start now on the Jets. All right, so 2024 Jets NFL roster. I'm going to give them a loss against the 49ers and a win against the Titans. I'm also going to give them a loss against the Patriots. As much as I hate the Patriots this year, I do think that Drake May is going to pull off a win here. They're going to beat the Broncos, beat the Vikings, and they're going to lose to the Bills, which is going to make them 3-3 on the year. They're going to lose to the Steelers. They are going to beat the Patriots, which makes them 4-4. They're going to lose to the Texans. They're going to beat the Cardinals, which makes them 5-5. They're going to beat the Colts, which makes them 6-5. They're going to lose to the Seahawks. I like the Seahawks a lot this year. I don't know why people hate them, which makes them 6-6. They're going to lose to the Dolphins, 6-7. Beat the Jaguars, 7-7. Going to beat the Rams, 8-7. Going to lose to the Bills, 8-8. And they're going to lose to the Dolphins, which is going to make them 8-9. Not 9-6, 8-9. Teams cannot be 9-7 or 9-7. Anyway, they're going to be 8-9 on the year. They're going to just barely miss the playoffs. They're going to be third in their division like they were last year. And Aaron Rodgers, like you said, not in his prime. He's going to have a very odd offensive line. They did sign Tyron Smith, but I think he's too old. Defense, one of the top ones in the league. I just don't think it's all up to Aaron Rodgers now. With a very weird receiving core with a bunch of old guys on it, like Allen Lazard and Randall Cobb, which I don't understand why Randall Cobb is on the team. The one thing that is concerning me right now is their quarterback play, their wide receivers, and their offensive line. Okay, if they can stay healthy and if they can be really good, I think that their ceiling is 10-7, but 8-9 is what I have them at right now, and that's 2 minutes. Back to you, Shoddy.
All right, let's do the Bills.
All right,
because I looked at stuff for the Bills
while
you were talking. Yeah. Anyway,
cool beans.
So Bills, I have them sneaking into the playoffs on a 9-8 record solely because of Josh Allen. By the way, I just want to bring this up. Like, I don't really understand how Josh Allen's good in the NFL, because I was looking at old scouting stuff the other day because I was bored, and literally he's one of the just looking at his scouting stuff. I would consider him one of the most surefire busts I've ever seen in my entire life. He was just I thought it was just so obvious he was a bust, and he's great. It's just he's almost a more obvious bust than Zach Wilson was pre-draft, because he was a crazy obvious bust, and the Jets being the worst organization and second worst organization in football took him. But I just thought I'd bring that up. He just looked like a complete bust, and I would have never taken him. The Bills are excruciatingly lucky. Anyway, Bills, I don't really understand what we're doing either. All right, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really understand why they trade Stephon Diggs. I get that there's organizational problems, but they're not really profiting off of this at all. Take a look at it. Because they traded him, okay? They saved $3 million. They saved nothing. And they're taking a $31 million dead cap hit, along with a $16 million cap hit they took for cutting Tre'Davious White. Tre'Davious White for me makes more sense because he hasn't been in the field for like 2 years, and they did save some money. It saved like $7 million. Tre'Davious White. We saved nothing on Stephon Diggs, and now we have a huge void at wide receiver, along with serious depth issues at every single position of the entire defense. So, way to go, Sean McDermott. This is like you are in a contention. You are in a contention window. All right, those are very rare. Okay, Josh Allen's 28. You got like 5 years left. Okay, you're wasting a year of his prime right now. You're wasting a year. Josh Allen you're wasting a year of his prime. 7-9-8, coupled with the fact that they have a pretty hard schedule because they were actually good last year. Yeah, it's going to be a rough year for the Bills. Yeah, it's going to be a rough year for the Bills.
Oh, all right. Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Do you hate the Bills?
I don't hate the Bills. Actually, I have no problem with the Bills. The Bills are a very good run organization. Sean McDermott's a good head coach, and
nice.
Josh Allen's a good quarterback. They are really lucky.
All right, can I tell you something else? You went 15 seconds under the 2 minutes, so good job.
I love it before the video. You're gonna be like, all right, gonna be over 2 minutes. Like every time, you better slow down. And there's been no
All right.
above 2 minutes. Let's go.
All right. Anyway, 2024 Bills schedule. First game of the year with 0 wide receivers for Josh Allen. It's going to be interesting how that happens. I'm going to give him the win against the Cardinals, loss against the Dolphins, loss against the Jaguars, which makes them 1-2 in the year. They're going to lose against the Ravens and the Texans, which makes them 1-4, which is interesting. But then they go on a crazy stretch here. They're going to beat the Jets, beat the Titans, beat the Seahawks, which makes them 4-4. They're going to beat the Dolphins 5-4, beat the Colts 6-4, lose to the Chiefs 6-5. They're going to beat the bye week. They're going to lose to the Niners, which makes them 6-6. They're going to beat the Rams. They're going to lose to the Lions, which makes them 7-7. They're going to beat the Patriots, beat the Jets, beat the Patriots again, which ends up making them 10-7. Okay, I don't like the Bills a lot. They're going to make the 1 seed just because of how putrid, or not the 1 seed. They're going to make the 5 seed just because of how putrid the Bills are this year.
Okay. By the way, quick, I forgot to say this. Bills get first rounded. I forgot to say my playoff predictions because I was mad at everything else. All right, continue.
Yeah. I also think the Bills are going to get first rounded. They're going to sneak into the playoffs. However, with no wide receivers for Josh Allen, it's going to be very interesting. Like I said in previous episodes, if Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid and Keon Coleman can step up into positions where they are needed, their ceiling is 12-5 and possibly even the 1 seed. However, I don't think that Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox are going to step up to their full potential. I think that they still have it in them. That's why I have them going 10-7, and my time is officially up.
All right, we going to me?
Alrighty. Let's go to the Dolphins, shall we?
I have the Dolphins being 10-7. I just realized I did this. I have them being 1, 2, 3, 4. I have them being 7-0 in the first 4 games, and then being 3-7 for the rest. I just thought I'd note that out. Okay. I'm gonna shoot the Dolphins. The Dolphins are another team that got noticeably worse offseason. I did not like the signing of OBJ. Felt incredibly unneeded. I thought Cedric Wilson was perfect as a number 3 wide receiver. The money could have been spent to actually put like an actual NFL player on the interior offensive line, or maybe just a defensive tackle because y'all have none. Instead, we spent a first rounder on our 4th edge rusher, maybe 3rd. He could develop into a 3rd edge rusher if he beats out Shaquille Barrett in free agency. Well, what are we doing? I don't know why people think this Chop Robinson pick was so good, because it was excruciatingly dumb to me when you have serious season interior line and defensive line. There's also players available who can go in that range, like Jason Newton, Jackson Powers, Graham Barton, maybe even a corner. You can go corner considering you don't have a number 2 corner behind Jalen Ramsey. Like I would have not been mad about that. I know we all have no depth at edge because Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips are hurt, right? But in like 8 weeks, they're young, all right? Jalen Phillips is on his rookie contract. Bradley Chubb's on like his first year of his new contract. All right, so they're like 25, 26, right? They're young. They're going to come back from the injury, okay? This is not a long-term problem. So, okay, what is long-term problem is you have no one on the interior line, no one on the defensive line. You don't take in, not defensive line, sorry, defensive tackle, but you lost Christian Wilkins to an absurd deal from the Raiders. I'll talk about that later. But, yeah, you need guys there. So you draft there. You don't draft who's a guy who's just going to be your third edge rusher. Okay, you don't do that unless you just won a Super Bowl and you have a luxury pick like that. Okay. Anyway, yeah, I think the Dolphins got worse. I still think they win the AFC East. Yeah, AFC East, because I think it is the worst division in the entire AFC. Patriots, I don't think they're going to be great next year. Jets, I hate. Bills could be better. Don't really understand what we're doing this season. Still a good organization. I love you, Josh Allen. All right. But yeah, Dolphins, another team, 4th seed, first rounded by my very own Cincinnati Bengals. Back to you. I gotta be way under time there. Gotta be like 30 seconds left.
Yeah, you had like 3 seconds left.
3?
That's still pretty good, man.
3
Yeah.
seconds left? Did I really? I thought I had.
Yes.
All right, go.
No.
All right. Wow. Man,
Alrighty. Dolphins. We're not going to do the preseason because nobody cares about the preseason.
No one cares.
Beat the Jaguars, beat the Bills, beat the Seahawks. Automatically.
Did you seriously just do this
lost
preseason?
to the Titans in that primetime match.
All right, good.
No, I did not do the preseason.
Okay, good. I thought you did.
3-1 to start the season. They're going to beat the Patriots. They're going to beat the Patriots and they're going to beat the Colts, which is going to make them 6-1. They're going to beat the Cardinals 7-1. They're going to lose to the Bills 7-2. They're going to beat the Rams, beat the Raiders, beat the Patriots, which makes them 10-2. Then they're going to go on a weird stretch here. They're going to lose to the Packers. They're going to lose to the Jets. They're going to lose to the Texans, and they're going to lose to the 49ers, which makes them 10-5. And then they're going to beat the Browns and then lose to the Jets, which makes them
it says
11-6. That's right. First place.
It says it. Like you don't need. You can just scroll up.
First place in the AFC East. I do have them getting the 2 seed in the AFC East. So like you said, this is a Dolphins team. Very stacked offense. They do lose a lot of pieces in the defense. They lose Xavier Howard. They use Christian Wilkins. Christian Wilkins, first of all, very underrated defensive tackle. Oh yeah, and Jerome Baker, who's a very solid linebacker. A lot of people underestimate Jerome Baker. Yeah,
they do.
Anyway, so I like the Dolphins' offense, right? The OBJ signing was interesting. I mean, they're going to have a solid receiving core, I feel like, with Jalen Waddle and
They have a great receiver core, but that money could have been used elsewhere.
Yeah. Also, let's not forget about the running back room, Devin Achane and Raheem Mostert. Devin Achane, when he stays healthy, oh my goodness, he's a solid running back.
He's a solid running back.
And then
he'll never be good in a feature goal. And Jalen Wright was a stupid pick. Unneeded, completely. He used to use on interior line to defensive line. Unneeded pick. I hated the Dolphins.
Exactly. And then linemen, pretty good. They lose Robert Hunt, but I do still think that their line can be solid for the run. Yeah, for the run. And defense is just what I really think is going to hold them back from getting higher. I think that their ceiling is 13-4, and not their ceiling. I think that their ceiling is 12-5, and their floor is 7-10. If it all comes down to Tua and the defense at this point. All right, last team, we're going to move on to the Patriots.
All right. Hey, what's your record of Patriots? I was curious. We should hate them.
My goodness, like 3-14. I don't like the Patriots.
I've been 5-12. I don't like Drake May. I did not like him pre-draft. I think he'll be a bust. Actually, there is an NFL analysis, I can't remember his name, who said Drake May would get somebody fired. Or that was a while ago. I read that a while ago, but he really did not like Drake May. Actually, I've had him a decent.
Yeah, that's.
I've had him a decent start, going 3-1. Surprise 49ers. Surprise the Bengals. Beat the Seahawks. Then they go 2-12 the rest of the way. So yeah, I think what will happen. I think Jacoby Brissett will start the first 8-ish games because Drake May is not ready. Jacoby is familiar with the Patriots. That's why I don't like Jared Moe. I don't like it. I think they made a decent move firing Bill Belichick. I get it. It wasn't firing. It was parting of ways. But Jared Mayo shouldn't be the exact same coach as Bill Belichick. If you want something new, if you're going to want Bill Belichick, keep Bill Belichick. If you want new, we'll go get a new head coach like Raheem Morris, Dan Quinn, Bill Callahan. Get someone like that. Yeah, so I did not like the Jared Mayo promotion to head coach. Yeah. So, and they also don't have anything on offense still. They don't have a number 1 receiver. They don't have a number 2 receiver. I mean, they have a number 3 receiver in Juju Smith, and that's the New England Patriots. The offensive line, they don't have a left tackle on their roster right now. So yeah, they have a lot of issues in offense. A horrible scenario for a rookie quarterback. They have an okay run game, but Ramondre Stevenson, he's already reaching his pinnacle age for a running back, and he's coming off an injury. Antonio Gibson shown signs of slowing down. The defense, the Patriots defense is actually good. I think they overpaid Christian Barrymore just a smidge. But I think the tackles are always overpaid. I don't know why. It's just market value at this point. I just don't think. Yeah, I thought he was overpaid. They don't really have a dominant edge rusher because Matt Judon took a step down. Actually, I love Christian Gonzalez. He was like one of my top rated players in the 2023 draft class, and he showed a lot in just like 4 games last year before he got hurt. He actually recently said there's no time for his injury, so this might be super seriously thought. It's a good second. I think they just have a good defense. This is why I give them 5 wins. Is they're a good defense, but I think their offense is going to be all right. Back to you.
Nice. 3 seconds left.
I am killing.
Alrighty. 2024 NFL season for the New England Patriots. As I told you, I hate the Patriots. I don't like the situation that they're putting Drake May in. I feel like he has a lot of talent that could go to another team, but I just don't like the situation he's being put in like Jaden Daniels is on the Commanders. Alrighty. We're going to start off with, 6 losses. They're going to lose to the Bengals. They're going to lose to the Seahawks. They're going to lose to the Jets, the 49ers, the Dolphins, the Texans. That's going to put them at 0-6. They're going to lose to the Jaguars. Then they're going to beat the Jets. So that's going to make them 1-7. They're going to lose to the Titans 1-8. They're going to lose to the Bears 1-9. They're going to lose to the Rams and the Dolphins 1-11. They're going to beat the Colts, which makes them 2-11. They're going to lose to the bye. I don't know how you lose to the bye week, but y'all do. Y'all are going to beat the Cardinals, which makes them 3-11. Y'all are going to lose to the Bills, the Chargers, and the Bills again, which makes them 3-14. Alrighty. Let me just sum this up, okay? Don't like Jared Mayo at all. Absolutely hate Jared Mayo, okay? I think that they are going to get the number 1 pick in the league, and they're going to draft Travis Hunter, which then they're going to ruin his production as well. The Patriots are a team that
Calvin Banks.
Maybe, but I just absolutely don't like the Patriots situation. I do think that they're going to start.
Do you have Travis Hunter being an NFL wide receiver or corner?
I don't know. I think they might play him both ways. I'm probably corner though. If I were to think, he's definitely a better corner.
He'll play corner in NFL.
Yeah,
it's a stacked corner draft. They got him, Benjamin Morrison, and then I don't remember who's the other one. Michigan guy.
There's Kobe Bryant. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Anyway, yeah, don't like the situation that they're putting Drake May in. I feel like notably bad quarterbacks put in bad situations commonly fall apart. Unlike CJ Stroud, but like if you look at Bryce Young, he's really good, has really a lot of talent, but he's just put in a horrible situation, which just ultimately makes him look bad. All right, final division, and then the podcast is over. AFC West. So you want to start with the Raiders?
Oh, I thought we were going to start with the Chiefs.
Yeah. All right. Final division, and then the video's over. We're going to go to the AFC West. We'll start off with the Raiders. Why not?
All right, keep going. All right, you want me to go first? All right. So the Raiders.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, let's see. I have them being 6-11 because they're horrible. Don't really know what to do. Actually, I think they had a turnaround. They stopped making win now. So, they make win now moves, and then they make 10-year moves. Like we sign Christian Wilkins and we draft Tyree Wilson. Who do they get first round? Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers is a stupid pick. That didn't even make sense. You got Michael Mayer. You have needs everywhere. When you have needs everywhere, there's 2 positions you don't take. When you have needs all across the board, don't take a tight end or a running back. What are we doing, guys? Yeah, Gardner Minshew, he's not a good. He's a placeholder starting quarterback, unless they start Aiden O'Connell, which would be because he wasn't good last year. So yeah, this team is not having. This is like their ceiling. Their ceiling is 7-10. All right, they don't have a good team. This is probably a quarterback drafting team. I think quarterback drafting teams would be them, the Giants, the Broncos, the Saints. These are teams I could see drafting quarterbacks next year. Maybe Seahawks. Seahawks might draft a quarterback. Cowboys might. I'm just looking at the teams right now. trying to think who else. Bears. No, I'm just kidding. Bears won't. Steelers maybe. Browns maybe. Jets maybe. Titans maybe. I don't know. These are the teams that might draft a quarterback. All right. Anyway, yeah, 6-11. Not very good. Obviously not playoff contention. Back to you.
Nice. 20 seconds left.
Whoa!
Actually murdering this thing. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
All right. Raiders. First off, we're gonna go to the preseason. They are going to go 1-3 in the preseason. Oh wow, 1-3 in the
No one
preseason, or
cares.
1-2. What am I saying? Nobody cares. All right, we're gonna give them a win against the Chargers.
Did you
actually,
take
we're
the
gonna give
time
them
to
a loss
predict
game.
all the preseason games? That's hilarious.
No, I'm just spitting these facts. We're gonna give them a loss against the Chargers and the Ravens, making them 0-2 to start. We're gonna give them a win against the Panthers, that makes them 1-2. Loss against the Broncos and the Browns, which makes them 1-4. They're gonna get a loss against the Steelers. They're gonna beat the Rams, which makes them 2-5. They're gonna lose to the Chiefs 2-6, lose to the Bengals 2-7, lose to the Dolphins 2-8. They're gonna beat the Broncos again, which makes them 3-8. They're gonna lose to the Chiefs 3-9. They're gonna lose to the Bucks 3-10. They're gonna beat the Falcons 4-10. They're gonna lose to the they're gonna beat the Jaguars 5-10. They're gonna beat the Saints and the Chargers, which makes them 7-10. They're gonna go on that little stretch towards the end of the season, but that's going to get them short of the playoffs. They're not going to make the playoffs. I have them drafting. They're also a team that could be drafting like a quarterback, like Shadir Sanders, Quinn Ewers, Carson Beck. I don't think that they are going to be able to draft one of those guys in time. I also don't like the fact that they are going to be. I also don't like the fact that they're going to be starting Gardner Minshew as their starting quarterback. You're wasting talent in Devontae Adams. You lose your running back. Not the best offensive line. Stud defensive line with Max Crosby. Not very top corners.
No, they should have drafted a corner.
Do we even know any linebackers? Yeah, they should have definitely drafted a corner. Brock Bowers is going to. I don't know what was wrong with the Brock Bowers pick. They already have a stud tight end, Michael Mayer, who's good for years to come. Could have spent it on a corner, or even a running back if they needed to. The running back class is horrible, but if they needed one, they could they wasted their first round pick. Anyway, that's my time.
That is
2 minutes.
Stupid thing you said. If they took a first round pick with a running back, they would have to sell their team because it would hate them so much. Literally, if they went like Jonathan Brooks, they'd be like, "What are you doing?" Be laughed at the NFL. All right, two Broncos.
All right, Chargers.
All right,
Broncos.
Chargers. No, we got to pick one. Okay, when I say like we're doing it,
okay.
All right, we're doing the Chargers.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. Chargers. We're doing the Chargers. I don't care. We're doing the Chargers.
All right. Okay. Well, I said we're doing the Chargers. Whatever I says goes because I'm boss.
All right. Anyway, the Chargers.
Chargers 7-10. So yeah, I haven't been improving, but they were 5-12 last year under the worst head coach in football history, Mr. Stanley. Jim Harbaugh is a lot better than him. He's been successful everywhere he's went. High school, with Andrew Luck at Stanford, with Colin McKipatrick and Alex Smith and 49ers. Down in Michigan with J.J. McCarthy. He's back with the He's back in the NFL with the Chargers. He's got my guy Justin Herbert. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks in the NFL. He's just been put in the right situation. And the Chargers just got worse this offseason. Their number one wide receiver is they actually, I don't know who it is. It's either Josh Palmer, Quentin Johnson, or maybe it could be Landon McConkey or Quentin Johnson if they have good preseasons because Josh Palmer is not Sigma. So running back situation. Running back situation. It's okay. Who they? Gus Edwards, right? I know there's somebody else. Let me check their depth chart. Anyway, I'm checking their depth chart. Defense, I would prefer if they did this. If they cut either Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and then cut Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack. Get 1-1. I would prefer if they did that instead of just. Actually, almost because Tula is you showed flash. I think he's ready to take a edge rusher 2 role. So I think I'd say you trade Khalil Mack because he had a great season last year. So he's more trade bait. Maybe get the 3rd rounder from Khalil Mack, but that's really, really stretching it. You probably get like a 5th rounder. Oh, they got J.K. Dobbins. That's who it was. They got 2 Ravens running backs. They stole them from John. But yeah, you take those guys. You take they probably should have drafted. Actually, no, Joel was a good draft pick. They have a good offensive line. Rashawn Slater too a lot. So yeah, I think they're up and coming. They're just gonna take a second. All right. But yeah, so they're gonna be 7-10. Next year 10-7. Next year 12-5. Next year Super Bowl. All right, that's my Charger prediction. Put that in YouTube short. Up to you, Wesley. Carlisle, come here.
All right, I'll make that YouTube short. All right, my Chargers prediction. So we're gonna start off with week 1. We're not gonna go to the preseason this time because I don't like the Chargers preseason.
Better not.
Week 1 they're gonna get a win against the Raiders. They're going to win against the Panthers. They're going to lose against the Steelers, which makes them 2-1. Then this is where the downfall begins. They're gonna lose to the Chiefs. They're gonna lose to the bye week. That's gonna make them 2-2. Early bye week sucks for a lot of teams. Okay. They're going to beat the Broncos, beat the Cardinals, which makes them 4-2. They're going to lose to the Saints, lose to the Browns, lose to the Titans, which makes them 4-5. They're going to lose to the Bengals and Ravens, which makes them 4-8. They're going to lose to the Falcons and Kansas City Chiefs once more, which makes them 4-10. They're going to lose to the Buccaneers 4-11. They're going to beat the Patriots, Raiders, and Broncos in the final stretch. And that's going to make them 7-10, like you said again. So very, very good defense. Very, very good defense. Okay, I like Joey Bosa still. I like Khalil Mack still. Very underrated. I like Derwin James. I think he's fallen off in production just a little bit, but I still like him. I think he's still got it in him.
Asante Samuel's underrated.
All right, good. Offense is the problem. Lose Austin Eckler. Very, very, very large drop off this season. Did not like him. However, I do think that Justin Herbert, if he can.
I was not happy.
I know, I did too. I think a lot of people did, but
yeah, it was not happy.
Anyway, Justin Herbert, I do think if Justin Herbert can step up into that position, as QB1, no matter what wide receiver he has, I do think that they can. The ceiling of this team, I think, is 9-8. The floor, I think, is 5-12. However, I don't think that they're going to reach either the ceiling or the floor. I think they're going to be just in between. John Harbaugh or Jim Harbaugh. He's a weird coach for me. Not my favorite, my personal favorite. But once again, if he gets signed to the Titans, then he's my favorite coach of all time. But no bias. I just think that the offense is going to be holding back from really reaching the ceiling of 9-8. Okay. 2 teams left, and then we are finished. Broncos.
All right, you start with the Broncos. Hold on. So you start.
All right, I'll start with the Broncos. All right, let me just stop my timer real quick. Okay. Broncos 2024 schedule. Going to start off against the Seahawks. Interesting pick here. I have the Seahawks winning, and then I have them losing to the Steelers. 0-2 right now. I have them beating the Bucks, which makes them 1-2. Losing the Jets 1-3. Beating the Raiders 2-3. I have them beating the Chargers, which makes them 3-3. I have them losing to the Saints 4-3 or 3-4. Beating the Panthers 4-4. Losing to the Ravens, which is 4-5. Losing the Chiefs 4-6. Losing the Falcons 4-7, beating the Raiders 5-7, losing the Browns 5-8, beating the bye week. They're going to lose to the Colts, which is going to make them 5-8. They're going to, 5-9. They're going to beat the Chargers, which is going to make them 6-9. They're going to lose to the Bengals and the Chiefs, which is going to make them 6-11. Broncos, I have them picking 11 or 10 this year, maybe. Or maybe even higher up, depending on what happens. I don't really know what to say about the Broncos, honestly. I feel like their quarterback room explains itself. Lose a weapon in Jerry Jeudy. They do get Troy Franklin. I don't know about the Broncos, man. I mean, and they lost Marvin Mims. He wasn't a huge role, but Bo Nix, I don't think he's NFL ready. Yeah. I do think Bo Nix can develop into an NFL quarterback. I just don't believe that he's going to do so this season, which ultimately is going to lead them to be 6-11. That's pretty self-explanatory itself. My time is up. Go ahead.
All right, I hate the Broncos. I mean 4-13. I think they have the worst roster in the entire NFL, even worse than the Panthers. Who also have me 4-13. But no, this offense is horrible. The only reason I haven't getting a win at all is because Sean Payton, who's one of my favorite head coaches in football, is coaching the team. But even then, Bo Nix, he is actually NFL ready. That's why I don't agree with you. But he's still a rookie, which means he needs at least something. Cortland Sutton, okay. Troy Franklin needs to develop. Marvin Mims needs to develop. Tim Patrick is about as good as me and you. Tight end room. Two mid tight ends. No offensive linemen. They have a couple, but it's like they have an average offensive line. Don't really have an established running game. Defense. The defense. Once the pride of the NFL, then they go and let up 70 points against the Miami Dolphins. Just the defense. Pat Surtain, I mean, he's just great. We lose Justin Simmons. You don't really replace him in any way possible. We randomly just trade for John Franklin. Like, we're actually going to be good this year. Like, just, I don't want to talk with the Broncos. I'm going to get too emotional. I don't really like the Broncos right now. Man, at 4-13, I'm making first overall in the draft, and they get a quarterback because Bo Nix is a one-and-done quarterback. He reminds me of the Trey Lance, Josh Rosen picks. Didn't even deserve a first-round slot. Yeah.
Wow.
Did not deserve a first-round pick.
You make me want to cry.
Oh, wow.
All right. You just make me want to cry sometimes about this Broncos team.
Let's do the Chiefy Weefies.
All right. Everybody, last team before the podcast has officially ended this episode. All righty.
My roundup.
Super Bowl champions.
My roundup.
Kansas City Chiefs. Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
I'll go first. Yeah, we got to get it back. All right. Anyway, I have the Chiefs first. By 12-5. They actually. So I have Chiefs, Texans, Ravens being 12-5. Chiefs get it because Mahomes has done some pretty dirty stuff with Roger Goodell behind the scenes that they're covering up. So yeah, so Steve Rogers is this team, all right? Chiefs start out. Chiefs actually, I think they have a better roster than they did last year, right? We'd have Marquise Brown, he's a decent number 2. Rashee Rice, who's back in OTAs, so he's pretty good, I'm pretty sure. We got Xavier Worthy, who I think would be a bust, but I mean he could be good, man. Then we got Travis Kelce, who is dating my queen right now. We got offensive line. I have question marks for the offensive tackle positions. Doesn't matter if materialized. They have the greatest man to ever graze the grass of the NFL field, in Patrick Mahomes. Still a good defense, lost some pieces. Didn't really gain some pieces there. We lost L'Jarius Sneed and didn't really replace him at all. But that's okay. I think the Chiefs are good. I think they're good. I think they won't win the Super Bowl because I think the Bengals are just a little bit too good right now. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's not a team that compares to the Bengals right now in terms of any position at all. So yeah, that's why the Chiefs don't win the Super Bowl.
All right,
back to you. Do you agree with my Bengals take?
All right. Yeah, a little bit. I hate the Bengals, by the way. Like, absolutely hate them. Yeah, no, I absolutely hate the Bengals.
Yeah, I guess you guys got 11 sacks on us, and we still beat you in the playoffs.
All right. We don't need to start this again, or else I'm actually going to beat you up. All right, I'm going to make this really short and quick. I'm literally just going to go straight through the schedule, wins or loss. Ravens, they're going to lose. Bengals, they're going to win. They're going to beat the Falcons. They're going to beat the Chargers. This is 3-1. They're going to beat the Saints, 4-1. Lose to the 49ers, 4-2. They're going to beat the Raiders, 5-2. They're going to lose to the Buccaneers. They're going to be 5-3. They're going to beat the Broncos, 6-3. They're going to beat the Bills, 7-3. Beat the Panthers, 8-3. Beat the Raiders 9-3. They're going to beat the Chargers 10-3. They're going to lose to the Browns and Texans, which is going to make them 10-5. Then they're going to beat the Steelers and the Broncos, which makes them at 12-5. 1 seed in the AFC. I have them going all the way to the divisional round, and they are going to lose in the divisional round, unfortunately. That's all I really have about the Chiefs. We really need to see what they do in the NFL season, right? We need to see if Rashee Rice even comes back. We need to see how Marquise Brown and Xavier Worthy do. But if they can be good, I think this season is like 13-4, honestly. All right, that is the last team of the entire AFC division for schedules and predictions for records. We are going to cap this thing off with the weekly roundup of everything that happened in the NFL. So, Carlyle, go ahead and take that away.
I was talking about my hat earlier. Hold on, I gotta find my hat. Oh, I found it. It's on my floor. All right, here we go. We got the hat.
We need the weekly roundup hat.
So let's see here, okay? So let's see. Rashee Rice practices after shooting a guy running into like I don't even know what this guy's doing. Like he went to a Methodist Christian college. He's like, always back at practice. So I guess he's okay with the Chiefs, right? All right, Trevor Lawrence is fixing to get a huge extension, according to it. Like he's fixing to join the 50 million club. Speaking of that, Jared Goff joined it recently, getting a 4-year, $212 million extension, joining the Lions extension boys with Penei Sewell and Amon-Ra St. Brown, who are both top 5 of their position now. Cameron Hayward skips OTAs for the first time in his career for contract disputes, which nobody even knew was happening. Another thing that happened with the Chiefs, well, Hayward did not happen with the Chiefs, he happened with the Steelers. But the Chiefs offensive tackle Wanya Morris was suspended for transporting marijuana. That happened, I guess. That just caught completely by surprise.
What?
Saw that coming. Yeah, I know. He was smuggling marijuana into the country. Micah Hyde is trying to play for the Bills again, run it back, and Bills are not. They might be interested. I have no clue. And T.J. Hawkinson does not have an injury timeline. I forgot he was injured, so this guy may be injured he's done. His career's over, just like Darren Waller. Actually, it's not Darren Waller's career's not over. He's still with the Giants, but he might retire. All right, hat's coming off. Oof, I should just go to school with my hair.
All right.
All right, that's good. Some people ask me about this. I want to go over all the elements over here on my little desk. All right.
Okay.
Let's do this. I'm just gonna do this real quick because I wanted to do this. First, we got my World Series trophy from my glorious Texas Rangers. This is the actual World Series trophy. All right. Then we got my Bookout family annual spot. Listen. Okay, I'm a spot champion. we have an annual. No, I'm being serious. I don't want you to see the big deal with this. We've done this since 2019. My uncle Tim Bookout won. My dad won 2020, 2021, 2022. I also won 2023. It's just not there yet. But I'm the first ever 3-time annual spot champion. All right.
Good stuff.
We have a random baseball. We have I'm not gonna pick it up. But we have a Lego Land Rover that my dad built. An official Bengals helmet. A not tying game that's been passed around for Christmas since 1990. I've recently got it because my grandma got it from my uncle for camp, and my uncle told her how stupid it was, and now we just passed it around because it's so stupid. It's never been open. Okay, we got some more Bengals stuff over here. We got some ancient FFL trophies here. Got a Pete Rose autographed picture. We got some theater awards because I'm just the greatest ever at theater. We got some grade medals. So yeah, that's what's happening over there. Yeah. If you want to know more about it, like and subscribe. And follow on Spotify. Yeah, and nobody has to see that.
Thank you for that little roundup.
To tell everybody, and nobody asked for that.
No, I'll keep it in. Thank you everybody for tuning in to the Crash Out NFL podcast. If you're on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe. If you're on Spotify, make sure to hit that follow button so you never miss a video or a podcast.
Smash that like button.
We have a new podcast every week, so make sure to stay tuned in. And we will guys see you all next time on the Crash Out podcast.